Okay, so I'm back here, and just to go through it again, I had the video up, and what I'm going to do is just going to scroll through it. And, certainly I know I do some erasures as I'm talking through that. I would strongly recommend watching that video, trying to make sense out of what's presented to you. But I think you probably remember at the end of the video, that is, if you watch the video, you remembered that I was going to go to Sage Math to do the problem. All right. So to do the problem, someone says, "What do you mean do the problem with Sage Math?" I'm just kind of curious. I'm going to go back and write down the original problem, and this is the original problem, and I want to go to Sage. This is Sage over here, and I want to type that in. And what am I going to type in? Typically what I always type in, I type in reset. I type in x is a variable. I'm going to type in the equation now, and I want to solve, S-O-L-V-E, and I want to solve x to the x to, you know what, before I do that, I want to show you that Sage interprets it correctly. So I'm going to write down a Q1 is being assigned x to the x to the cube. Now someone says, what's the order of that? Let's write this down. And what I want to do is display equation 1 to show you what the order is according to standard math. All right, that's the order. It's x raised to the power x cubed. All right, so I want to see if I can solve SOLVE. And again, I'm going to say this is the most base level command I understand in Sage at this point. Equation 1, right? No, I shouldn't tell it. It's really expression 1. And what's that equal to? 729. And I want to see if I can solve that for x and see what happens. Well, Sage says it can't do it. All right. So what I want to do is I want to see if my answer is right. Right. So that's interesting that Sage can't do the problem. And maybe, I don't know, maybe he can't think like I think. Or maybe I don't understand how to get to think better. So what I want to do is I want to scroll to the end. And I think you probably remember that I said x was the cube root of 9. So I'm going to go back to Sage. And I'm going to type that in now. So I'm going to say x equals, I'm assigning x now a value. It's no longer a variable. 9 raised to the power 1 divided by 3. All right. Now what am I going to do? I'm going to evaluate equation 1, right? That's x to the x cubed. Right, let me write that down for you. X to the x cubed. And I'm hoping that's going to equal 729. Let's see what happens. 729. All right, I'm doing okay. All right, so my solution's good. The other thing I want to go to, and just briefly, by the way, I typed it up already. Let me just get rid of this thing over here, and I want to go to Grapher. And what I did with Grapher was I graphed let me go back over that and make sure you understand what I'm graphing over here. Go back to the beginning. And what I want to claim over here, whoops, I didn't mean to do that. What I graphed out over here was I graphed out, y equals x to the x cubed, and I graphed out y equals 729. And I wonder where they intersected. All right, and I see the point of intersection over here. Now, by the way, this function's kind of, unusual looking, and someone looking at it and saying, I don't understand what's happening over here. We could zoom into this region, but really what am I interested in? Where does it intersect? And it appears to be intersecting a little bit above 2. Now, I think you probably remembered I said it intersected, and let me just put a new equation down over there. I said it intersected at x equals, whoops, sorry about that. I said it intersected at x equals, give me 1 second. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. X, whoops, I'm going to go over here. X equals, something's wrong with my keyboard. Let me just delete that. No equation. And x equals 9 to the 1/3 power. All right. So I just typed that in for you, and I'm seeing the point of intersection. I'm actually seeing it, and things are coming into play over here. I do want to claim, though, when you get over here, all right, I hope you realize that the function that we're looking at, x to the x cubed, grows incredibly rapidly. question is, what's happening over here? So what I want to do is just, briefly zoom into this region over here. Let me go back over here. And, I get a better impression. I still don't exactly see it. So I'm going to kind of get in there again. And I'm starting to see a little better now what's happening to it. So what happens over here, it looks like it's decreasing, it's a minimum, and then all of a sudden it takes off rather rapidly. All right? What's nice about having graphing applications, you can actually visualize what the problems are doing, and it might actually help you solve a problem. I'm not saying it necessarily will give you the answer, but it'll certainly help you solve the problem. Let me just zoom out again and point out that these things, they're not easy to graph because the growth of it is incredibly quickly. But anyway, thanks for paying attention. I really do appreciate it.